Greetings everyone and welcome to the Occult Think Tank. My name is Greg. In this video I am going to show you a Christian Strawman. To start this off, let me introduce you to Strawman Steve, to open up this can of logic-based whoop-ass. I have said on multiple occasions I do not interpret shit. I simply show you what is written or show you the facts regarding something, then base my conclusions on the evidence that everyone can clearly see. The reason I do not interpret anything is the personal bias that can be behind the act of interpreting something. It is related to how people can put a spin on a subject. The spin or interpretation can be subject to personal bias or political agendas. Of course, like everyone, I have my own personal biases, but I try to keep those separate from the facts of the subject that I am addressing. If someone doesn't like the evidence regarding a given subject, that is simply not my problem. Pointing out the fact that affect deals with the cause, while effect is dealing with the result, is not an interpretation. That is simply stating grammatical facts. A word's meaning and the rules of grammar are not subject to change. If they were, communication would be impossible, as the meaning of words one uses would mysteriously change without notice, completely fucking up the intended message the person wanted to convey. This all came about because Joshua wanted to introduce his Christian Strawman to the discussion. The first thing I noticed with this was he claimed what I gave was an interpretation of cause and effect, while what he gives are insights. This struck me as a misrepresentation of what I presented, as I wasn't addressing cause and effect, but rather affect versus effect. However, this comment didn't come on my last video, even though logically that would have been the place one would think this should have gone. Remember, logic and Christians simply do not mix. Christians are stuck in the past, so Joshua clearly felt a video from 9 years ago was the place to post this new comment. Why someone would go back to a 9-year-old video that didn't relate to this subject at all to continue a discussion about the topic just strikes me as extremely bizarre. All I can think is, just like his ideas are stuck on ancient scribblings of Bronze Age goat herders, all discussions must be done on nearly decade-old videos which have fuck all to do with the subject at hand. The thing is, I wasn't addressing cause and effect, as he claims, but pointing out the grammatical difference between affect, cause, and effect, result. However, he then claims to have insight on this, which I regard as suspect given this is where the formation of his straw man begins. He says, "My insight is cause is generated from within, but effect is the infectious value of the cause. So you infect yourself with whatever this cause is, thus creating your own result." I do not get it. This makes about as much sense as giving yourself a sexual disease. After all, who the hell knows where you've been? This would be like saying the cause of this video was generated from me, although everybody can clearly see the cause of this was generated from the stupidity of you, Joshua, in this comment. So just your own comment and my responding to it debunks your causes generated from within. No, the cause of this video was generated by stupidity from you, which is external to me, but then to claim everything is entitled to change. Do you think language can just randomly change? That the meaning of words can just arbitrarily change for no reason? If that would be the case, how would we communicate anything? Because everything can change. Things are not like opinions. Yes, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, but you're not entitled to your own facts. Facts are only subject to change when new evidence comes in that shows those previously held ideas are no longer valid or no longer accurate. But new evidence must be presented in order to override established facts. The thing is, to then claim people have bad lives which have effect but are not self-caused, then you just demolished the straw man you made. You claimed cause is generated from within, and then you assert people have bad lives which have effect but are not self-caused. Then cause is not generated from within. Your initial premise, the basis of your straw man, is bullshit. Then you claim people can desire something, want something, but still not generate the answer. Okay, so what? Just because you desire or want something does not mean you're entitled to the answer that you want or the result that you want. Then to go on and claim this is why isn't important to have God and Christ in our lives. Before I get into all the things wrong in this, Joshua, do you not have an apostrophe on your keyboard? Or do you just lack the ability to use an apostrophe with contractions? If you refuse to use an apostrophe, do not use contractions. It is very simple. This is basic grammar, because ISNT is not a word unless you have an apostrophe in there. Then it becomes a contraction for isn't. But to say this is why isn't important to have God and Christ in our lives, that makes no sense. This is why isn't important. What? Are you missing an it? Maybe the it from the last video? It could be, here I'm interpreting because I have no choice. This is why it isn't important to have God and Christ in our lives, to which I would agree. But I don't think that's what you're getting at. The problem is, if you are not clear in what you are attempting to convey, other people will not reach the conclusion you are going for because your message was not clear. It would then not be about the other person not being willing to accept your message. It was about your message not being sufficient to convey what you are trying to express. The thing is, there is no Christ to have in your life, Joshua. Because, number one, Jesus didn't have a Jewish daddy. So he couldn't be a Christ. A Christ is a Messiah. Christ, do you know what job titles are? Do you think Christ is a last name? Are you that stupid that you think his name was Jesus Christ, as if Christ was his last name? Yes or no? Are you that stupid? Because it does appear that you are. There can't be a Christ also because there is no third temple. Their first temple was the temple of David. The second temple was the temple of Solomon. There is no third temple. In the location where the third temple should be is the Dome of the Rock. Additionally, Jesus was never anointed king. He was never a king of Israel. The Messiah was a political title, not a last name. Also, Joshua, there can be no Christ because there are still wars. Christians want to try and sidestep this one by acting like, oh, Jesus will do that when he comes back. It doesn't matter. He failed from birth. Not to mention, he wouldn't be the Messiah until he gets the job done. Everything that the Messiah was supposed to accomplish was to be done in one lifetime, not strung out over thousands of years. This is how you do a scam. Additionally, you don't give fuck all about what the God of the Bible has said regarding personal responsibility and how you atone for your own sins. You're more interested in having your own scapegoat so you can have your apologizing before you fuck up, as if that makes any goddamn sense. But then he leaves another comment where this one made me laugh because I read how sin offerings work. Okay, so the one that needed educated on sin offerings wasn't me as you falsely claimed. It was actually you. Okay, fine. Thing is, he then says, tell me what is your insight. Wait a minute, now I have insight? I thought I did interpretation and you did insight. Now suddenly I have insight. Okay. In sin and trespass offerings, in the law of Moses. Joshua Martin Pierce, do I look Jewish? If you have questions about Judaism, why the fuck are you asking an atheist? Why the fuck aren't you asking a Jew? This really shows me that you don't know what the hell you're talking about. When I had questions regarding Judaism, I didn't go asking atheists, I didn't go looking for Muslims, I didn't go finding Buddhists. I went and talked to a Jew. Why the hell? If you have questions regarding Jewish law, why would you ask an atheist? I gave the website that I had went to for information regarding the sin offering, the virtual Jewish library. It's called Google, Joshua. Do you think that the internet is just YouTube and porn? Try Googling it. Try seeking out someone that is Jewish. And then while you're at it, you can get them to explain to you why Jesus is a fucking failure. Feel free to leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. Talk to you later, people.